All right, I guess I can put my 2 cents in about Jimmy Kimmel now. The air is kind of clear, sort of. Anyway, Jimmy Kimmel said what he said, right? Maybe it wasn't totally correct. At the same time, that wasn't a reason to kick him off the air. In the fact that the FCC, or the federal government had anything to do with Jimmy Kimmel getting kicked off the air is a problem. Because there is this thing called the First Amendment. Now, it's one thing if your job kicks you off the air. It's another one when the FCC has something to do with your job kicking you off the air. They're trying to get a merger to go through. They to save face. They did that for it. Maybe they're gonna let Jimmy Kimmel come back in a couple of days. Now, I'm gonna say that. Then you gotta remember, Don Lemon's been kicked off the air. Joy Reid was kicked off the air. Tucker Carlson kicked off. All of them were for political reasons and monetary reasons, and their jobs decided to take them off the air, right? Because of what they said. They said something controversial. They were gone. I mean, there's a host of people you can just Lamont Hill and Jamil Hill, all those folks. They're all taken off the air because they said something controversial. As black people in America, we often say stuff that's controversial. Old girl that if you watch Native Land Pod, old girl that was on, they used to be on MSNBC. She's on Native Land Pod, and she said what she wanted every once in a while. Van Jones has said what he wanted. He got famous for coming up against Kanye West. You talking about being canceled? Kanye West has definitely been canceled for the things he said. We want to cancel Candace Owens, but she's still out there. But the Republicans have canceled her because of her stance on Israel. Cancel culture is real. And I don't care what side you on or what side of the aisle you on, somebody gets canceled, right? That's how it works, unfortunately. But you do have the option to do like all of these folks, go start your own podcast, and nobody can tell you anything on your podcast. You get your own followers and your own listeners. That's what you do. Get your own website. Alex Jones got kicked off of YouTube, got kicked off of just about every social media when he started his own website. Still being heard every day by people, regardless of what you say about the guy, right? Or what we think about it. So Jimmy Kimmel is in America. Censorship is funny. Censorship happens through corporations and through social media. Censorship does not happen through the federal government because it's not supposed to. Your First Amendment rights are supposed to be protected, even though Donald Trump keeps talking about retribution over what happened to Charlie Kirk. And like I said, with the whole Charlie Kirk thing, it was evil. So that's going to be part 2 of my conversation. In America, there are several things that are evil. Okay? You can believe and you can have it in your heart that abortion is illegal, and at the same time you can say that a woman not having the right to choose is evil also. You have both. You have the right to do that. In this country, you also have the right to say that what happened to the Israelis by Hamas is evil, but at the same time, the Israeli slaughter of innocent Palestinians is just as evil. You have a right to say that. You have a right to say that you hate the evil that's going on there. You can have a right to say that the war in Ukraine is evil, just like you can say that NATO expansion was evil in some ways as well. You can say that. You can say both of those things and get away with it. There is nothing wrong with that. That's just telling the truth or telling it like it is. You have a right to your opinions also about everything. Just like what I just said, some people are like, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe, yeah, well, that's true. Racism is evil. Hating anyone because of their color, their skin, their ethnic background, because they're gay, because they're straight, because of their religion, any of that stuff is evil. Hate is evil. Yet, our president just said it in a speech. While Charlie Kirk's wife was very forgiving, talking about God and the love of God and how she wants to see him one day. Donald Trump's like, I ain't got that same thing. I hate all my opponents, all my enemies, all that. Hate, 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 hate. Hate came out of his mouth. Yet he sits here and he got his Pam Bondi, his attorney general, talking about how she's going to prosecute people if they say words about hate crime. Of course, I know she's supposedly taking that back and she meant violent speech, whatever that's supposed to mean. But here he is talking about I hate my opponents. He wants to get rid of them. He wants to censor them. He wants to take away their license and their right to practice. He wants to do all those things. He's got businesses running scared. So then, when every time anyone speaks up, they're letting them go. That's why social media and media period is a big deal and also a danger, because everyday people like myself could be in danger because we speak out. If you speak out and they decide they don't want to hear what you got to say, or they decide that it goes against company policy, they can let you go, even though you're not on the clock, but you represent the company. Your face is seen as part of this company, and your face is seen on social media saying such and such A, B, and C. That can happen. So I get it. People are scared and not talking. But it ain't scaring me from saying it, because in America we have a right to talk, a right to be free and say what we need to say. We got issues in this country. We've had mass shooting of 3 police officers killed, what was it, last week. You had the mass shooting at the school. You had the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. We've had all kinds of things happen over the past couple of weeks. People dying in cities and towns. And we need to talk about what are we going to do about this. What is it's not, everything's not criminal. We can't charge, because that's reactionary. What are we doing after that? Oh, we're going to charge them with murder, and we're going to put them to death, and the death penalty, that's going to solve it. That's solving the problem after the crime. What you're going to do before the crime. Are we going to do any good social working to fix this problem in our society? We got people who, I hate talking about them, because they're the worst kind of scum out there. These folks are messing with kids. We got folks doing that. We're going to talk about mental illness. Let's fix mental illness at all levels. We got people who are strung out on drugs that causes other crimes because of that. We need to talk about that. That's mental illness. We need to fix mental illness in this country. We need social economic issues, especially money. That's another thing that drives the drug industry in this country. That's why everything from major corporations down to the everyday drug dealer, money and power and all those things. We need to talk about stuff in our society that we are causing ourselves, the harm we're causing ourselves. And yes, I agree with Republicans. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. And we need to talk about the issues we have as people. So I don't know what we're going to do there, but we need to be able to find a way to sit down and be able to talk to each other and not just point fingers, because there's too much of that going on. Hate this person, hate that person, da-da-da. MAGA this, liberals this, progressives this, left it, the nasty thing, the radical left and the MAGA, the low down dirty MAGA, the fascists and all that stuff that's being thrown around. It's time to change that a little bit. Let's try to sit down and be able to talk to each other. Congress is barely doing that now. They just passed a crazy crime bill. Basically that was aimed towards DC, but it lowered the age that somebody can be arrested to 14. Instead of us looking at the social economic problems that's got a 14-year-old committing crime, we're just going to throw them in jail. We're just going to throw them in jail for life and do things. We're not going to try to prevent that from happening up front. Oh well, I guess I've said enough. Y'all have a good night.